Hi, this is Greg from Zoho Expert, and today I'm going to make a really quick video on how to connect Zoho CRM and Zoho Forms together. I have seen an inquiry on YouTube from another Zoho user who is struggling to get data from her clients. She wants to be able to send them out a link and have them fill in a form and then have that form come back to Zoho CRM so that the clients can update their own information periodically. So, a little bit about me. I'm Greg from Zoho Expert. We make videos on how to do things with Zoho apps and Zoho One. If you need anything and you're interested in specific topics, please comment below and we will endeavor to make videos on those topics for you. If you need a bit more help, specific help with scripting or CRM design or anything like that, come over to our website zohoexpert.co.uk and get in touch. You can just click here and this will bring you to our contact form where you can ask for some extra assistance and we'll be in touch. Anyway, on with today's video. So if we go into Zoho Forms, so we just go to forms.zoho.eu. We are going to create a new form. Now, there we go, new form. So we're going to call this collect customer data. Okay, so for simplicity's sake today, we are just going to collect the date of birth and the Skype ID, let's say. Actually, no, Twitter. So we're going to get the date of birth and the Twitter handle from our clients. So we are going to come here and we want a date field. And here we're going to call this your date of birth. And we are going to say, I like the week to start on Monday. Allowed dates, so past dates only, because obviously they can't have a date of birth in the future. We're going to make this mandatory and we're going to save. Alright, so the next field we need is we're going to ask them for their Twitter handle. So here we're going to say your Twitter handle, if you have one. Okay, so we're not going to make this one mandatory because some people might not have a Twitter handle. So we're going to go save. Now, here's where the magic happens. We're going to put in a single line field and we're going to edit the single line field and we're going to call this okay, so we're going to do this based on the record ID today. That is not the best way to do this. The best way to do this is to have a field in here. Okay, I'm actually going to teach you the best way to do it. So the best way to do it, we're going to create a new field. Okay, we're going to go into our contacts module. And we're going to, let's make a new section and call this collect customer data. Okay, so we'll have a single line field. And we're going to call this contact hash. And let's make another one. We're going to make a checkbox one. And we're going to say, do you know what, actually, I'm not sure if checkboxes work very well with the Zoho Forms integration. So instead, we're going to do a pick list. And we're going to say, contact has responded. No. Yes. And the default for this is going to be no. And until we told otherwise, it's always going to be no. So the contact hash. Now, there are two ways you can do this. So I'm going to write a little bit of custom script to put this in. But what you can do is you can just paste in random values here if you prefer, if you want to do this on a one-off basis. But for me, I'm going to go to Workflow, and I'm going to go to Workflow Rules. I'm going to go to Create a New Rule, select the Contacts module, go Create Contact Hash, and this will be on a record action, created or edited, repeat whenever it's done. Now, to make sure we aren't wasting resources, we're going to say only for contacts where the contact hash is empty, because if they've already got one, we don't want to replace it. All right, hope you're following so far. So now we're going to do a function. We're going to write our own function, and we're going to call this create contact hash. Okay, so now in this area here, we are going to write Deluge Script. Now, I'm going to make more videos on Deluge Script in the future, but for today I was just planning on showing you how to integrate forms and CRM. So I'm not going to go into how the scripting is done today. I'm just going to paste it in, and then I'll include it as a section underneath the video. Bear with me one second. I'm just going to copy this from another area. Okay, so we're going to call this contact hash. Now, this is the existing record that we have, and we're checking the field to see whether we have the contact hash. So let's just search for that. There we go. So that's just a double check mechanism. We shouldn't need this because we should only be running the script if we have an empty contact hash, but just in case, I like to do that. And now we're going to go for the contact ID. Now, the reason we're doing this is to get some random data that we can, or unique data that we can help to make our hash as random as possible. And so here we're going to bring in their ID number and their email address. Okay, so now we want to change this to contact hash. So what this code is doing is this is checking that the contact hash already is empty. So it says if the contact hash is empty and if it's equal to basically an empty string. So if either of these is true, because this means or, so if either of these is true, we're going to make something called rand1, which is a string of 4 numbers, or a number that is 4 numbers long. So 2018 would be one of the potential numbers here, for example. So we're going to do that 4 times. Now, this script here has a risk of being duplicated. If this happens exactly the same way, where we get 4 of the same random numbers another time, if you have a big system, for example, there's a risk that this number won't be 100% unique. So what we're going to do is we're also going to add in some additional values here. We're going to add in the contact ID, and we're going to add in the contact email address. Now, if the contact email address is empty, that won't be a problem because it'll just add in nothing on the end here, and we'll still have the contact ID to make this as unique as possible. So now we're going to just say the contact hash equals that, and the contact hash equals that. And so now we need to say this is the record update function. So we're going to say contact record update map.put, and we're going to say the we need to make this map first. I'm copying this code from somewhere else. So, so this equals map. And so now we have an empty map. We create the random hash and we put the hash inside the map. So now that we have the map updated, now we want to do the response. So contact record update response equals zoho.crm.updateRecord, and this will be a contacts. This will be the contact record ID, and then we want to put our map in here. And this is basically telling Zoho to update our record. So we go save and execute, save. It's giving us that error because I haven't put any values in. But basically, now that we've created that, if I go to this contact and I open up this contact here, I can see that he does not have a contact hash. Now, if I change something about him, and I say Zoho sign, please, save. Now the system is saying, hey, this record's been updated. And it should be calling on that script and making a hash for us. There we go. So there's our hash. Now this is the best way to do it. I would have a hash, or in my system I do have a hash for every single customer, so that when they come to my form, I can use this hash to look them up. So now if we go back here, this field I think should be called the contact hash. And we want this to be hidden. And we want to say that it is mandatory. Alright, so what's going to happen now is when this form is submitted, we want to have the contact hash be in this form. So in order to do that, we want to go to settings and we want to go to field aliases. Set alias. So now what this is we're going to call this CH for contact hash, and we're going to save this. Now when someone comes to our form, let's make this unhidden for a second. There we go. Okay, so when someone comes to our form, and on the end of the form we put question mark, contact hash, so CH equals, and then we put whatever our contact hash is going to be, and then press enter, you'll see that the contact hash here, which will normally be hidden, will have this detail from the URL in it. Now that's going to be really handy, because when we submit this, we want to be able to match that to our contact hash on our client. Now, we've got to fill in this other data. Now, before I proceed, I'm going to show you how to link this. Now, we could do a link directly with Zoho Forms to have this integrate with Zoho CRM, but that doesn't really help us match up the records very well, I don't think. Let me have a quick look. Yeah, no, it doesn't give us the option to search for records. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to Flow. And we're going to sign into Flow. And we're going to create a flow. Okay, so this is going to be called Zoho Forms to CRM. If you're wondering why I have to keep zooming in and out, it's because I've got screen recording stuff that's blocking my view. Okay, so I haven't seen this layout before. My flow looks very different to this. But I just want to skip all this. Okay, maybe it's just because it's the first time I've logged in. Yeah, okay, so now we're going to base this on an app. So we're going to say run this flow every time an app does something. And we want to use Zoho Forms as our app. So there's our app. Now this is going to fire every time an entry is submitted. So we want to go next. We need to connect our app. So this is Zoho Forms. We want to do it for all triggers, and we want to authorize. So now I'm letting Zoho Flow and see my Zoho form data. So now I'm going to say on this form, the collect customer data form, run every time there's a submission. Okay? And now I need to tell it to do something. So let's go CRM. And it's a bit slow today. There we go. Zoho CRM. Oh my goodness. Okay, Zoho CRM, and for now, let's just find the contact. So now I don't like fetch contact, and I'll explain why in a minute, but I like to go for fetch module entry, because technically a contact is a module entry. So now we need to connect Zoho CRM, so we'll just call it Zoho CRM, and again, for all triggers, we trust Zoho Flow. So we say, yeah, you can access everything. Okay, so now we want to search for a contact where the contact hash is equal to the contact hash. Done. Okay, so this will be fetch contact. Now, all I'm going to do to show you that this is working quickly is add a note. We want to add a note to the contact. So we want the entity ID here. Oh, sorry, entry ID. Note title will be contact form received. Contact form received. DOB. And then we can put the person's date of birth in. Oh, that's new. DOB pretty. And we want the Twitter handle, if they have one. Okay, done. Why is it not working? Done. Oh, I haven't chosen a module, that's why. So contacts, there we go. So now this is add note to contact. Okay, and now let's put this flow on. And now let's try this out. So I think this will work. I think we will be all right to do this. So let's go January in the year 1977, January 1st, 1977. Twitter handle is Zoho Expert. And now this hash must match the hash that we've got for our demo customer. Okay, and we go submit. Now bear in mind, when your customer is submitting this form, they won't actually see the contact hash. It'll just be hidden up here in the URL bar. So all they'll see is these two fields. Now, if we go to the history of the Zoho Flow, we can see that Flow has received this data from our form. You see, they've received the date of birth and they've received the Twitter handle. Okay, and now what it's done is it's added a note to Zoho CRM. So if we go to Zoho CRM and we refresh this page, you'll see notes will now say 1. There we go. And there's our note. Okay, so now what we want to do is actually update the record. So we want to go to the builder again. Now, before we update the record, we want to make sure that this person hasn't already filled in the form. So we go to the logic and we say decision. Actually, before, yeah, I think so. Sometimes we need to declare a variable, but let me see if that's the case. No, we don't. Okay, that's great. So we're going to say from the contact, and we want to look for our field that says contact has responded or something, I believe it was. Oh, where is it now? Contact has responded. There we go. So contact has responded not equals yes. Let's just check the capitalization on that. We have a capital Y. Okay, so not equal to yes. So this will be new entry. So everything that we pop on this side here means that there's a new entry on the form and the person hasn't already responded. So we want to take their response and we want to update their contact. Everything below here means they've already responded. So what I'm going to do on this side is I'm going to put a task down here Now, you guys can do so much with this, and I'm just trying to show you what is possible, and then you can use your own imagination to decide what you're going to do with that. So, for example, here, I'm going to create a module entry, and I'm going to create a task, and I'm going to say that this person has tried to fill in the form twice. So we want the contact details, so account name, here we go. So let's go subject. So first name, last name, has tried to complete their contact information form more than once. So due date, we'll just make a due for today. You've got these handy variables up here that you can use. Contact map, so this is so that the task will automatically link to the person who is who we're talking about here. So the related module will be contacts, and we want to relate to, well, we don't really need to relate to anything actually, so we can just leave that out. Status would be not started, priority is low priority. Now here you can have it send you an email if you want to, but I don't think it's necessary. You should be checking your CRM daily. I'm not going to go into the rest of this, so we go done. So if the person has already filled this in, we don't want it to update and overwrite the CRM. Okay, we just want to know that they tried that. Maybe you want to contact them, maybe you want to discuss it with them, maybe they've got an update they need to make. But we go off this way. Now, if it's the first time filling it in, that's what we want. So here we want to go to update module entry, and we want to stick that on here. So if it's the first time, it's a new entry, then we want to update the contact, and we want to select the contact that we searched for earlier, so the one that matches our hash. And what we want to do is we want to put in their date of birth, which they've provided to us. Now you see it's got to be year, month, day. So when we go up here, we can see that this is already coded like that for us in the ISO 8601 format. That will give you problems sometimes. So if it's in the wrong format, you know, you can talk to me, make a comment, and I'll show you how to change that. And they also give us their Twitter handle. So there we go, if they have one. Now this is important. Contact has responded. So we are now receiving a response from the contact. So now we want to mark contact has responded as yes, so that they can't update this again at another time. Okay, so now we want to go done, changes to update contact. And now this is where you might want to send them an email and say, thank you, we've received your update. Let's do that quickly. I guess you could send an email template if you wanted to. That's probably the prettiest way to do it, but I don't have an email template. So I'm not going to add it in here. But what you could do is add an email on here from an email template. In CRMs, you make a template that says, thank you, we've received your date of birth, or thank you, we've received your updated information. And then you move it to here and you link it up with the contact and you fill in all their details so that they'll get that email when you receive their response successfully. I don't need to do that in my case. All right, so let's review. We've made a form. We have got this contact hash, which we're going to hide now. And we have got the, let's get the code. Okay, and we've got the user that we want to update. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go send email. And we're going to choose the template. Oh, we don't have a template, of course. So we're going to say, please update your information on our system. So dear demo first. Now bear in mind you would have a template for this, and you'd probably have a workflow set up so that you ask them for this once a year, or you ask them for this if it's missing. You know, there's tons of stuff you can do. Look into that. If you need any help, make a comment below and I'll show you how to do it. So dear demo first, we are writing to you to request that you please update your date of birth and Twitter handle on our systems. Obviously, you would have something a bit better than that. You would need accurate, different information. This is silly information, but anyway. So we're going to say, click here to update your record. Thank you, Zoho Expert. Now, here's where the clever stuff comes in, guys. So we want to go link, and we're going to paste in the link to our form. And now we're going to go $CH, which stands for customer hash, equals, and now's when we need their customer hash. Now this should all be optimized and written within your template anyway, so you don't have to manually do any of this. You do it once and then the system will do it for you automatically in future. Alright, so let's send that. Now I should receive an email. There we go. Okay, so you see here the client hash is up here in the top corner. So I'm going to give it a date of birth. This time I'm going to give it a different date of birth. So let's say it was born in the year 2000. All right, and the Twitter hash is going to be demo Twitter, and we're going to submit. All right, now you can do all sorts of fancy things with Zoho Forms to have this redirect them somewhere, or have a thank you page that says, yeah, we've received your data, blah, blah, blah. But here's the fancy stuff, guys. If we go back here and we refresh their contact record, you can now see that we have their date of birth and we have their Twitter handle. How cool is that? Now, if they try to go to this again, and they try to fill it in again with a different date of birth and different details, so this time we're going to say February 2005, and bad Twitter, because we don't want to see that. And we submit it. Now we go back to their record, and it will not show. It'll stay as Jan 1st, 2020, or 2000. And you'll see here that their Twitter stays the same, but now we have a task that tells us that demo first, demo last, so Jack Jones, whoever, has tried to complete their contact information form more than once. And you can see that there's their contact. You might want to call them and discuss this with them and say, oi, what you doing? You've already given me that information. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. I hope you find this really useful. You can build so much on what I've just explained to you and all the information I've given you. I'm going to give you the code to that custom function in the description. And if you like this email, or if you like this video, and if you learned anything from it, then please like it. Please subscribe to our channel. Please comment down below if there's anything else you'd like to learn about. We really want to make lots of videos to help people do the things they want to do and show them just how powerful Zoho CRM can be. Thanks a lot. Bye.